Okay, so now let's talk about renting a saxophone, okay? So when it comes to renting a saxophone, alto saxophones, although they cost, like I said, on average between $1,100 to $1,500, that's how much they cost on average outright. You can rent one anywhere between $38 and $55 a month. You know, $38, $55. You know, which is tremendous. Now, some people might say, well, you're gonna be paying over that for some years. Now, usually most companies, you know, you have a rent to own program. And number two, if you rent it for the first year or so, if you can see that the child is serious about it, you can go ahead and pay it off and pay it outright. You can go ahead and do that. You know, go ahead and pay it off, save yourself some more money. So, but here's the benefit of renting. If you rent it, if you sign up for a rental agreement at your music store, you can. There are some companies that say, well, you have to have this instrument for at least 6 months. You know, all in all, that's still not bad. So if we're talking about $55 over the course of 6 months, if your child decides 2 months in they don't want to play anymore, you only out, you know, somewhere around $330 as compared to $1,500, $1,400. So that's not a bad trade-off. However, there are some companies that say you don't got to keep it for a month. And there are some companies that you don't have to keep it at all. You can get this you can sign the paperwork, take the saxophone home on Tuesday, and then Friday decide you don't want it anymore, even though you decide the paperwork that you're supposed to have this for the next couple of years. You can still bring it back. And most times it's not a restocking fee. Just bring it back. Of course, try to bring it back in the condition that you took it, you know. Don't damage it. But you can bring it on back. So that way, in that facet, and at that point, you're only out maybe the accessories that you paid, you know? So paid for. So all in all, that's a pretty good deal. But here's something else that you get with renting. Another option that you get with renting. Suppose your child joins the band, but unfortunately they don't like the saxophone, which I doubt. But just hear me out. If your child decides they don't like the saxophone, if you're renting, some music stores will allow you to take the saxophone back and trade it out for another instrument. And the money that you paid on this instrument will go toward that one. I've seen it before, you know? So that's another benefit that you have of renting. Rent until you know that the child is going to stick with it, okay? You know, and I know I'm saying child a lot, but everything I'm saying applies to adults as well, okay? Because I've seen adults do it too. You know, I've seen adults come in and get a trumpet. I'm not quite feeling the trumpet anymore. Let me try the sax. Okay, bring your sax in, bring your trumpet in. Here's your sax. You know, now granted there is a difference in price, but you know, all in all, you know, that money transfer, that type of thing. So my point is, when it comes to renting, you got a lot of flexibility options.